I want to break this topic that I've been talking about from the mountaintops for the last 3 years or more. What the topic is, and I have said this for a very long time, that POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, dysautonomia, and long haul are actually the same thing and the same syndrome, describing the same symptoms. And when I started saying this on my lives and on my medical trainings 3 years ago, it was not really believed or accepted. And it was a shocking new claim. And yet it was based on my own personal experience and the experience of the thousands of people that I've worked with, not only with autoimmunity, but their symptoms and POTS got worse or newly diagnosed after having long haul. And I kept saying, this is my experience, because truly the research was lagging behind what I was observing real time on the field. This is real life experience. This is real people, real diagnoses, real symptoms with this. And here's the problem. Why is this important? I just want to give you some statistics. Right now, 7.5 million people have been unalived by COVID. Okay. And when we look at the number of infections worldwide, there have been reported and documented 750 million of those infections, of which 10% of those people will experience what we call long haul, which means that even past 12 weeks is already a dang long time, but up to 10% of people of that 750 million, which is an undercall, by the way, because think about how many people have it or have had it and never was diagnosed, never took testing, right? So we're talking over a billion, right? Infections. Now of that, up to 10% of the people will experience long haul, and that's reported. And the problem is that's of the people who actually go in and say, oh, wow, I have these symptoms and I'm reporting it. And they have to also have testing that confirms that they had it in the first place. So confirm why this is wise. Up to 10% will experience long haul. A lot of people themselves may not even be aware, but now when we're here talking about this, they'll start thinking back, oh, wow, I've had these health symptoms and they did get worse after the big C. Okay. And until someone points it out to them, sometimes it can happen so insidiously that you don't realize that there's a connection. So for me, it's really important to highlight that connection because the number of people long haul impacts is astronomical. What is POTS? Postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, right? So just to put everybody on the same level playing field, right? When you're looking at POTS, it's a syndrome that causes people when they are changing positions, postural orthostatic, meaning like when they change positions, orthostatic, tachycardia syndrome, their heart rate can go fast. Now, that's not it. That's more like just a description of one of the symptoms of it. But when people have POTS, blood pressure can go up and down with positional changes. You don't even have to have positional changes for that to happen, by the way, because how many people with POTS, they don't even have to change position and they notice that there is either blood pressure changes causing dizziness, nausea, vertigo, or causing the heart rate to go up or down, right? You don't even have to change position. And it's also associated with symptoms like brain fog, fatigue, and more, it's also associated with other mysterious symptoms like sometimes joint pain, increased reactions to food. And if somebody has any sort of immune system problem going on, like autoimmune disease, suddenly those things that are kind of mild suddenly become more. And your doctors will say, not only do they say they don't know if you have POTS, they don't know what POTS is, but they'll say that the other symptoms aren't clearly identified with anything. They're all in your head. Okay. And this is where POTS itself is a very misunderstood, under-evaluated, underdiagnosed condition, which most medical doctors don't know anything about. Now, you put that on top of the large, we're talking, hundreds of millions of people that have long haul. The latest study that came out that we're going to dig into today is that, guess what? At least in this particular study, 79, close to 80% of people with long haul have POTS. Okay. And this is why a lot of people, with POTS, with long haul will go into, and I have worked with many people who are in long haul clinics and they are being treated for long haul. We had an interview with Joel, who was in a specialty clinic in New York. This was about, 8 months ago. We had an interview with Joel talking about how patients who have long haul with all these symptoms, guess what they are? Guess what long haul symptoms are? Dizziness, vertigo, nausea, stomach upset, pain, dizziness, heart rate, blood pressure changes, right? And other neurological symptoms. Guess what? Long haul looks and sounds exactly like POTS, okay? Because they're the same thing, okay? So when I was talking about that even a year ago when I was interviewing Joel, it was something that's like unheard of. It was at that time, it was like one of the best specialty centers in New York City. Even then was like, oh, there's a connection between long haul and POTS. And I kept saying, AKA Dr. Potts here keeps saying, hey, they're the same thing because there's the symptom overlap between them, basically 100%. Okay. So this is really important because we can now start to understand why do people get long haul? What are the targets in long haul? And why do people get POTS? POTS, it's not a mystery, not to me. And it also goes towards solutions. And the most important thing is, for me, I've always said POTS is a solvable problem. And but now that we're talking about, overlap, 100% overlap symptoms, is long haul a solvable problem? The answer would be yes, yes, and hell yes. How many of you with POTS or don't have the diagnosis have been sent to the cardiologist? And the problem is, it's not a heart problem, okay? The word dysautonomia actually describes it better. It's more of an imbalance of the nervous system, which it is not a cardiologist's heart problem. When someone has dysautonomia, there's a misfiring so that they're not balancing each other out. The sympathetic fight or flight is overfiring, and there is an inability of the parasympathetic, the calm and digest, to come up to balance it out. That balance is off, okay? And that is definitely one of the underlying trigger causes of POTS or dysautonomias. There's a nervous system dysregulation with which they are not balancing each other out. The word POTS, P-O-T-S, stands for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. All it is describing the symptom. It's not really a diagnosis. It's just describing, oh, you have these symptoms, really. And so there's a lot of diagnosis problem, meaning people are like, do I qualify for diagnosis or not? Do I qualify for diagnosis of long haul or not? And what I'm here to tell you is it doesn't matter. The best that doctors have right now is a word that describes the symptoms, right? And the worst is no diagnosis, no treatment, and they don't even know what the heck POTS is. There's a lack of awareness in doctors in general about what POTS is anyway. How many people here have POTS or dysautonomia and the doctors don't even know what the heck it is? So I said in the beginning that POTS is a solvable problem, and so is long haul. And the answer is going to be how. And I've had so many different training series that went into how to solve POTS. I even did a workshop recently. If you want to get the training series on how to do that, put POTS series in the chat. And this is a solvable problem, but it really requires an understanding. Now you have a better understanding of this than any of the doctors you've ever seen. And I love giving this level of education and connections and ahas for you, because I'm here to build your medical self-confidence here. If you enjoyed and you learned something from this, help me share and raise awareness around this, because it is ridiculous just the amount of people that have long haul, that have POTS, dysautonomia, or chronic illness of any kind that are being medically gaslit. Please share with one or two other people. That'd be fantastic.